A few years ago, we decided to try and grow vanilla in South Florida. Thought we would share what went right and what went wrong and what we learned along the way. Hope you enjoy. I got the telephone poles for a deal here locally as some lines were being removed. They're about 8 foot in the ground. Also found a local contractor who, lucky enough, had the correct auger to actually drill the holes and help me lift them up and put them in place. So it's about 10 foot, 11 foot high. The shade, if you look up, let me walk up here. Here's the top. I don't know if you can see because the sun, you probably can see on this side. But originally, if you see that red line, that was originally going to be the height of the shade house. And actually started drilling some holes and began putting up hardware. On this side you can actually see there's some hardware that's actually there, even the lines. But I changed my mind because I was afraid of the weather, hurricane and the wind, just that height. I was afraid that a hurricane would come and pull everything down. So I thought maybe if it was a little bit lower, it would be a little safer. And so we went with lower. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but it only gives you a little space when it dips some. And right here you can see it's actually it is touching some of the poles when the wind comes down and start to tear. So I'm going to have to repair this or lift this up and bring it a little tighter to raise this up several inches. So, but this was a job, I did it myself. So I had a little experience with in telecom, working outside plant, so I knew a little bit about the tools and what was required to mount the hardware and drill the poles, etc., and winching them in. So, but I had no experience with shade houses at all. I've made every mistake you could think of, had to redo things multiple times. Still not sure I got it right, but it's at least working right now. So, and the plants are happy. So, laid down the cloth too on the ground, all the way around to, that was a job, nailing that down. Actually, when we first got here, this whole area was a water pit. It would, when it rained, I would have a pond in the backyard when it had, because we had some seriously heavy rains here. And so we had to get 40 truckloads of dirt to bring out here and pack down and to raise this up high enough so we could get the plants in here and actually utilize the space. I actually had to dig out a road on the side of the house. There my brother-in-law's boat is right there. And dig all this muck out and put in concrete all the way to the front street so the truck should get back here, because the first one that came back here bottomed out, sunk right there, and it was a huge problem. But anyway, so we got that worked out, got this lifted up, and that's another reason I did bags instead of putting the plants on the ground. It's because I was worried about the water. It does still rain back here. We do get several inches sometimes when it's really bad, and the plants can stay dry. They get plenty of water, but at least their roots can breathe. So that's one reason we went with the bags. Sorry about all these weeds. I have had a small accident, and fell off of a ladder, of all things, and I'm a little behind on my weeding and spring cleaning, but we're going to get this cleaned up here pretty quick. So I feel a lot better. But anyway, that's why we got them in bags. that's how we put this together. Here you can see this up the pole, so seems to be working pretty good. And that is the shade house. When I first started putting the plants in bags, if you look, some of these plants have these green tags, and the green tags were the first plants that I put in bags. And the problem is I couldn't just put them all in bags because I had no place to put them. So I had to do section by section. I'd put a 30 by 30 foot section here of the shade house, had all the poles up, so I'd just do a section, and I would put these plants in. I would, let's go back to this. I got anchors in the ground, line that goes up to these posts, and I would drill these posts down into the ground, and then I would take this line, and these things are really great. I don't know if these gripples, they're phenomenal when it comes to pulling and tightening lines, but it's like a Chinese finger toy, if you know what I'm saying. So you pull it through there and it locks it down, and you can keep pulling it to get the tightness that you like. It comes with a tool that you use that, and I'll show you that sometime, and how you can continue to tighten the lines. I put like a drip line. This is metal, of course, 1/4, and then I took some 1/4 drip line to cover this to kind of protect the plants and the vines, so they don't get torn by the metal. So make sure this is coming in focus, you can see that. But yeah, so, and then so I'd put one on each side, and then I would tighten the line up. And I just, at that time, at first, I just had the one line through the center, post on both sides, and tighten these down, and then put the plants in at 3 foot space, and then which a lot of people will say that's probably a little too close, but that's probably the minimum space you can put in there. But we had so many plants and not a lot of space, and maybe that was a mistake too. We probably could have just used half the plants and spaced them out twice as far, and the plants probably would have grown bigger, got more light, etc. But yeah, it is what it is now, so that's what we got. So then what I would do is I also come in here and put the center posts to kind of hold this line, because the plants are starting to get heavy. As you can kind of see, the line's already dipping. So just recently I've come back here and I'm putting even additional posts. So I'm going to go with multiple posts, so because the weight of this, the expectation of having all the weight of all the plants just coming to these one post here on the end is just not going to work. So I'm just got to continue to put posts in. I've got 3 additional posts, center posts in each row, all of these right now. I'm starting on this side. I got to put new lines in, because at this point I still just have the one line. On this side I need to put a second line, which I've already started putting the tails together to get ready to put this up. And then I've only got one center post in all these rows. I need to put 2 more posts in each row, and it's another thing that I'm working on. So it's a lot to keep going. But the problem is now is that the green bags, which you see the tags over here, some here and there's some here, these are all starting to flower, which is phenomenal, because it's been 4 years, 5 years. So they're finally starting to flower, which is great. But because of the way I did this section by section by section, the plants are younger, right? The ones that as they go forward, they're younger. They got put in the bags later. Some of these are only a couple years in the bags. So, and other ones have been, like I said, 5. So anyway, so these are younger, and you can see they kind of are smaller. They're not as big. Some of these on this side especially are not as big, but I've got a lot of work to do. I got to put all these lines up because they're growing very, very fast, even though they're not as big as the other ones. So I need to get that done so I can add the additional lines and grip these up, because they are starting to really grow fast. You can see that's a pretty healthy, pretty nice size leaf. It's not the 6 to 8 yet. It's probably the 5. But the ones that get really long, these green ones, if we go over here, look at some of these bags. And I'll show you these leaves over here comparatively. like this. As you can see, that leaf, here's a full one. This is one of the green tags, is one of the full. So it's a much bigger leaf, and these are the ones that are starting to show where they're going to start bringing in flowers. Some of these right here actually are right now. So like that one. So if I can get that to focus for you. But anyway, and you can see all over the place. I'm starting to get flowers popping. So there's another one, there's another one. They're all over the place. So yeah, exciting times. So looking forward to coming out here and have to pollinate. There'll be more videos about that, of course, because this all has to be done by hand. We'll talk about the green bee, the green orchid bee that's here in Broward County, that we're hoping that maybe can help us with some of the pollinating duties. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but we'll find out. They are all over the place. We've come up with some things to draw them in as well, to try to keep the green bees here and locally, and try to get them over here by the shade house to see what happens. So but that's a whole nother conversation that we'll talk about later. But this is it. 32 rows, 15 plants per, and in bags, like I said. Still got lots of bags, still got more plants. So we're considering maybe opening up another area, and maybe in Naples to start, where we've got access to some property there. So we may end up moving some over there as well. But right now I've got plenty to do, and not a lot of time to do it. But that's it. Thank you.